So, Turtles. I thought that would go further than it did. Ninja Turtles set then, not the most popular. Kind of understandable why. I personally feel like it might have done better if they'd leaned more into the mysticism aspect of it. But we've got the tech aspect, and that can still work. So, yeah. Video today is on my own deck from this set, which is Old Hob, Alleycat Blues. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 2/2 red mutant creature token. It gains haste for a turn, destroyed at the beginning of the next end step, and 1 white, target attacking creature token gains indestructible till end turn, meaning that it cannot be destroyed at the next end step. Aha. So, why Old Hob? Because I really liked him as a character in the comics. We'll get there when we get there. Give me a moment to get the 99 organised, and I'll be back with you. Okay. Some sorting later. Here's what we got. Let's start with up here. We have a couple of cards that are just there to be out of focus and enable the sneak costs in the deck. Prehistoric Pet, hard to block, and let's do bounce stuff just in case. April O'Neil enters Scry, making it a decent flicker target, and kind of a lot of creature power 3 or greater. Can semi-reliably get through. Do the thing. Interaction then. We have Path to Exile, Deflecting Palm. I just like this enough that I have it in here. I do have a legit copy of it somewhere. Yep, there we go. In the deck box. We'll get through the stuff in the deck box in a minute. But, like, you know, it's Luna Reverse. Dimensional Exile, Blasphemous Act, a skinned version of it. Because this deck is built around Old Hob, I wanted to focus more in on the AW continuity. So rather than the Blast Act of Shredder burning down the antique store from the Commander deck, this is the similarly Blasphemous Act of Old Hob setting off a Gene Bomb. Make your move, and Vanquish the Horde, which had the Turtles print on the way, but it's functionally the same. That's going in there for now. Draw Suite. We have Alleycat's Brew, Demand Answers, Raphael's Technique, Thrill of Possibility, Takassi's Welcome, Cool But Rude, and Caretaker's Talent. Ramp then, we have Solemn Simulacrum, once again a skinned version as Fugitoid, who is in this timeline literally a Sadbot. There's no reason why I wouldn't do him as this. City Pigeon. Yeah, sorry, this is Flicker Targets as well as Ramp. Let's do Flicker Targets. City Pigeon, leaves get a food, many mute animals, enters, get a bonus mutant, and put a counter on something. Sally Pride, enters, get many mutant. Pete, literally the same thing as the pigeon, but he's Pete. Splinter, enters, blow up attack creature, leaves, means someone else draw. Very nice. Jenica, enters, create a 2/2 mutant. Now let's do the Ramp Suite. With Sidebot, you'll notice for the stuff that wasn't part of the set, I have a custom set symbol on the go. It is the Purple Dragons insignia. Anyway, we have Soul Ring, Cursed Mirror, Talisman of Conviction, Professional Facebreaker, specifically Hun, the eventual leader of the Purple Dragons, skinned as Professional Facebreaker. In the AW continuity, okay, so Hun is usually Casey's sort of nemesis, and in the AW timeline, they went a step further by also making him his father. So at the start of the story, is kind of a deadbeat, bit of a drunk, and then he takes a job. And that job turns out to be working for Shredder and leading the Purple Dragons again. Okay, Arcane Signet, Hot Dog Cart, because New York, and Exploding Barrel. Small extra combat suite. We have, I guess, miscellaneous fun stuff. We have Raph and Leo, sibling rivals, as an extra combat piece, Ways of Aggression, as an extra combat piece, and Turtles Forever, which we'll get to in a moment. Anthems then, we have Raphael the Night Watcher to give attacking creatures I control double strike. Very fun. Rising of the Day, creatures I control haste, and my legendary +1/+0. Ferocity of the Wilds to give my non-human creatures +1/+0 and trample. And Street Riot to give everything on my board +1/+0 and trample on my turn. Trample Enable is a lot less common red than they are in green, but it's doable. Let's check the burn suite. We have Impact Tremors to burn an entry, Slash to burn twice an entry, Raphael to burn once an entry but only to one opponent, Warrior's Call, another anthem piece, ping everyone, and Outpost Siege, 1 damage to any target on leave. Very playable in Flicker deck. Let's take a look at my other mutants then. We have Leonardo. We have Null Group Biological Assets, just because I like these two in the comics. Lita, because she's a turtle I can play. Wingnut. Mutant Town Musicians. Tucker and Razar, which I guess also count as ramp. Whenever one token creature I control leaves, I put 1/1 counter on them and create a treasure. And Mondo Gecko, because this is the only version of him that fits into the main deck, even though I don't particularly care about Old Hob doing damage. So, next, when I say main deck, you'll see Flicker Suite then. We have Sword of Hearth and Home. Yeah, Lucky Pull from a pizza box. Very playable in here. It does a thing. Acrobatic Maneuver does a thing, draw a card. Daydream. Sorcery Speed, but it has Flashback, and it only costs 1. Another round, there is a finisher, Neutrinos, on-theme piece from the set, Ephemerate, the classic, Teleportation Circle, does a thing on the regular, Icecon Scepter. Most of the Flicker pieces and several draw pieces can fit under this, so it's actually very playable in this deck. I've never been in a situation where I have drawn into it but not had a target for it in hand. Touch of Spirit Realm, you're basically going to use this for channel more often than not, but like, it's also playable in the other form. Flicker of Fate, Go Ninja Go, Exile or Kill Spell, Otherworldly Journey, Cloud Shift, Scroll Shift, do the thing, draw a card, and finally Personify, which also creates a mutant. Let's take a quick look through the land base and then get to Turtles Forever. So, we have for the non-basics, Evolving Wild, Secret Tunnel, Vibrant Cityscape, Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Fabled Passage, Path of Ancestry, and Monumental Henge. Just because, you know, there's enough artifacts and legendaries in here to warrant Monumental Henge, and I'm reliably going to control a plane, so it's going to enter untapped 99% of the time. Speaking of planes, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 of those. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 mountains. Putting us on a nice healthy land ratio. So, Turtles Forever then. This is a card that can be used in a couple of different ways. There are plenty of legendaries in the deck that I can search out 4 of them. Most likely Raphael, Sally Pride, Slash, and something else. And basically an opponent will give me 2 of those and the rest get shuffled in. But if I'm in a pod that is cool with a little bit of rule 0, I will instead search outside the game and pick 4 out of the 5 out of Mutant Man Living Ooze, Lindsay Baker, Honorary Mutant, skinned version of Professor Hojo, Herman, a skinned version of Red Death, Man Ray, and Mikey. Why? Because these were the mutant animals for the bulk of the comic alongside Old Hob, Slash, Pete, and Sally. That I consider to be the sort of core lineup from the IW run. Now, because they aren't part of the starting deck, they're not. I don't view these as being bound by the same rules in terms of deck construction. They're not part of the deck, they're from outside the game. Therefore, they don't need to be red-white. I don't have an issue with that. I can just use Turtle's Row to fetch up stuff from the deck itself. Which I've tried on occasion, and it's less fun than doing this. So the important question is, can I actually cast any of these? And the answer is yes. I've got a couple of cards to do trade tokens. I have a couple bits that tap for 1 mana of any colour. And basically, what are you scared of? That some bulk uncommons and random bullshit from past commander sets is going to be a problem for you? This isn't even the good version of Mikey. So, where do I plan to go from here? At some point, I definitely want to find a spot for irregular cohort. Just because I happened to pull it a couple of days ago, Bowling Holiday in Birmingham, I found a spot that actually had Modern Horizons 1 packs, and decided to treat myself to one for like not much more than it would have been at retail. Pretty cool. And yeah, this is exactly what this deck wants, basically. 4 mana. It's a mutant. It enters, I get another mutant. So, beyond that, I don't actually know, to be honest. It'd be nice to add the Turtles version of Trouble in Pairs at some point, just because, like, that's also, well, that's a card that I don't own yet, but that would go well in here. So, I'm trying to get, since I've crammed in like a good chunk of the bonus sheet already, I may as well. Yeah, beyond that, I don't really know. It's not the most powerful deck of all time, but it's a fun deck for a more casual pod, and I tend to have a good time when I break it out, you know? Anyway, I will see y'all next time.
Thank you.